Hello and welcome to CDRA Twitch Teach. For tonight, we're going to be reviewing the action that happened on Monday night at the Kentucky Speedway. I am David Damboise, and this week I'm joined by the hottest driver in the championship online racing teams right now. Another win last night in a caution-free race from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is Mitchell Riggs. Mitchell, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good, man. Coming off that good win last night, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, big win last night. I believe that's 4 on the season now in the Court National Cup Series. So one heck of a show for you there. And we got a heck of a show for you here tonight at the Kentucky Speedway to review. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this one after some events that occurred in the early portion of this race. Only 5 cautions to go through, so not going to be too terribly long, but we will be reviewing these 5 cautions in various situations. On top of that, we'll also be taking a look ahead to the event at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or MoSport, next week at the end of this program. But they're not here to hear us talk in front of a CDRA Twitch Teach logo. They're here to have us talk over the footage of the race. So why don't we go ahead and take a look and see what we got. We're going to start right away here on lap number 6. We're taking a look at an accident involving the number 85 of Curran Beckler and the number 36 of Keith Black. So let's go ahead and roll the clip. And this one's coming off of turn number 4, and you'll see Curran Beckler and Keith Black. Black gets the wall ahead, and just kind of unfortunate meeting of the minds. Travis Ellington's involved in it too, and they end up sliding. This was a thrown caution in the event, actually. This one was actually a thrown caution by Davis Warren, and well, it was thrown by Davis Warren, but John Wilco was also an administrator on Monday night. And once again, thank you very much to those two for helping me out. I had a little bit of a
great job those two both did, really.
Yeah, both of them came up huge. I had a little bit of a medical emergency over the weekend. Still not sure if I'm still okay, but nonetheless, they were able to help us out and get through this event on Monday. So let's go ahead and review back this incident. Why don't you tell us what you see here, Mitchell?
Yeah, it looks like we're coming off turn 4 here. It looks like Keith Black just gets out of the groove a little bit and gets into the wall. Big hit there. That's pretty. That's going to damage your truck pretty good. And it looks like Travis is trying to avoid it, and he goes high to get around. And Curran maybe just didn't recognize that the 59 needed to go higher than he did. He didn't really see the 59 trying to avoid it, so he just ran his regular line, and the 59 needed to avoid, and they just made contact. So that happens a lot. The 85 just could have maybe just given a little bit more room to the 59, give him some more consideration, and I don't think there would have been an accident here.
Yeah, and the context here too, it's lap 6. I mean, we're really early on into this event.
Yeah.
But yeah, the contact here actually is pretty square. It looks like he was going to hit him anyways, but it could be a case where, he just misjudged it. I think he thought that the 85 wouldn't be quite there. It almost looks like he had a little bit of an opening. If he would have just gotten out of the throttle just a little bit more.
Yeah, both those guys, the 85 could have went up maybe a groove or a lane and given the 59 some more room, and the 59 maybe could have just got out of the throttle and went around him after the 85 did. It's a racing incident for sure, and hopefully, we'll see these two learn from it.
Yeah,
in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on in this incident, I do want to mention something, and this is just kind of a general thing for for just about everybody in the field, just a blanket statement. Whenever you have an accident like this, and I'm going to keep enrolling this through, if you have an accident like this and you end up like Curran here where you clip the pit road here because you're inside the pit lane here, you are fully justified in asking for a clear on that, entering I believe the penalty is improperly entering the pits. You are fully okay for asking for a clear if you do come in like this. So in the future, if you do end up like this and then you get a black flag for illegally entering the pits, this is not like open set, or this is not like official racing. You can ask for this to get cleared. So
I think the same goes for avoiding accidents like that are in front of the pit lane. Maybe you can dive down. I don't totally know.
Same thing.
You can probably ask for that to be cleared too.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're intending to avoid the incident. The only thing that we ask, though, is if you are going to dive down pit road to avoid an accident like that, just try and woe it up once you're past the incident to somewhat pit road speed. In a realistic sense, because you see, in NASCAR, the rule is you can come down pit road to avoid the incident. You just have to try and make an attempt to get back down to pit road speed.
Yeah,
so.
you can't fly back onto the racing surface going at the speed you came and to cause another accident. So try to slow it down a little bit.
Absolutely. So one more thing too. This was a thrown yellow by Davis Warren. I'm going to tell you right now, this is an okay throw. As an administrator, honestly, this is a fine, perfectly okay, acceptable throw. There's a multi-car incident. Actually, it's a 3-truck incident involving the 36, the 85, and the 59 here. So I would have thrown it if I saw this too. So I think if Davis is kind of getting beaten up on this one, I think it's perfectly fine. So.
Yeah, I'll take the blame on this one. I kind of gave him a little crap for throwing it on Monday night, but now looking back at it, I agree with this call. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's early. It's lap 6 in the event. So, just I think it's fine. So,
yeah.
Okay. Moving on to an incident that occurred further along in this event. This one's going to be here on lap number 21. And this one's going to involve the number 18 of Ty Smith. And our primary focus of tonight's show, the number 46 of Charlie Brown. So we head down on the... we're going to actually focus on the 46. And watching this here, you're going to see here that the 46 is running this lane here at the top of the racetrack. He has a fair lane here. Like, he's fine. He's got the 50 in front of him. He's got the 93 here. He's fine. If he stays here, he's probably got a shot at getting a drive off the corner. Sorry, I'm trying to be all fancy. He's got a shot at getting a drive off the corner on the high side once we actually get to turn number 3.
Yeah. Actually, he's probably in the preferred lane for this corner.
Yes.
Yeah. He would have probably got a good run off 4 and passed him.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have had a fairly decent shot at passing him. But here's Ty Smith, who is making his second career CDRA start. And there is Travis Ellington right here, too. But, I think this should speak what it is. So we head down, and Charlie makes a very aggressive move. Now, Ty does come down a little bit. He does make this little move to the left here. I do want to roll that back just a little bit. You can kind of follow off of this seam. So watch Charlie here. He's going to dive it down, and then Ty kind of moves down just a little bit to correct it. So we're at this point of the backstretch, and they keep moving down. Now, at this point, it's lap 21 of this race. We have 97 laps to go in this race. At this point, what should Charlie do?
In my opinion, Charlie should, first off, stay in the high lane. Second, definitely back out of this one. You're already too shallow going into the corner. I mean, you can look at the 2 trucks in front. They're way up the track. You're way too shallow going into the corner. There's most likely going to be contact. In my opinion, you need to back out of this one and maybe come at it the next lap.
Okay. Let's roll the tape. He doesn't. He ends up being side by side with the 18. Yeah, this does create a little bit of a passing opportunity for him, but please note when he makes this move, watch how unsettled the truck is here once he actually dives it into turn number 3. So it makes this hard cut, and then you see how unsettled the truck is here.
Yeah, he's squirrely. He barely got into that corner without spinning. It was close.
Yeah, he got caught by the spoiler, but you see he's driving up the track because he's thrown it into the corner now. And now this opens the door for Travis Ellington and Davis Warren here. So now we'll just keep rolling this at quarter speed, and you'll see here that at this point, Davis has got a significant run because now Charlie has blown the corner. He has blown the corner. It is not going to happen. He is not going to have a shot at making this corner. The other thing that doesn't help is the fact that, yes, Travis is behind him, but Travis kind of is at the mercy of what Charlie does. If Charlie slows up, it's not really going to affect Travis too much because he's got him. Let's cut real quick to Travis's cockpit. Like, this is his view. He's got a very clear view that if Charlie starts slowing up, he should be able to react. Yeah. Instead, what happens is this. So we will roll it, and you'll see here, Charlie just kind of stops turning at one point.
He just kind of wanders up the track here. Everyone else is turning for the corner, turning for the exit, and he just kind of wanders up the track. And
a little bit of netco, but it would have happened anyways.
That would have been a wreck no matter what.
Yeah, and so he comes up about 3 lanes and then takes out the 70. We'll play at a full speed here. And make the argument that maybe the 18 messed him up, but I don't know.
I mean, they never really should have been in that position to begin with, really.
No. So you can see where the entry to the corner, actually, really the exit off of turn number 2, all the way to turn number 4 is all affected by this.
I really wouldn't even consider what Ty did to be a block. I think if you go back and look at it, like Charlie's coming. He's got a run coming off to his outside. Yep. And he's kind of in the blind spot of Ty there. So Charlie flings it down the inside. Ty freaks out. He doesn't see Charlie anymore on his outside. He's freaking out. He tries to give him more room, and then Charlie's below him all of a sudden. So I think if we had some mirrors, maybe. Let's see. You can't really see that much.
Can't really see, unfortunately. This is my stock field view, so unfortunately you're not going to see much. If you had the virtual...
And look, the 18's entering the corner where everyone else is entering the corner. This is the normal entry into the corner.
Yep. And if you go one truck back...
Look at that. I mean, he's going to probably hit the yellow line the way he's going in. I'm glad he has the wheel turn to the right, but...
In fact, if you look, that wheel is turning to the right, like you said.
Yeah.
It's pointing to the right, so...
I think that's when he got unsettled.
That is... Yeah, you're right. It is when he got unsettled. I'll give credit where credit's due, yeah. But he drives up the track, misses the corner, and then that leads to, all of this. So... And then when we get to this point, he comes... He straight lines. He literally straight lines. It's like he didn't even know the 70 was out here.
And I mean, Davis is... It's not like Davis barely has a bumper on him. Davis is...
He's got a
pretty
quarter.
far alongside, yeah.
Yeah, he's got rear quarter on him.
If you're paying attention, you'll see that Davis is there, and he just comes right up in front of him. Yep. And that's unfortunate because Davis is like second in the points.
Yeah.
And that really hurt his points championship points he was going to gain tonight. So, just not really paying attention.
No.
For a whole corner, I guess. I don't know.
Not at all. At this point, the 46 proceeded. We will not be playing this because it's not exactly PG. Proceeded to raise a giant amount of stink about this whole situation.
He wasn't mad at Davis.
No, he was very much not mad at Davis. Yeah, and you'll see that here in just a moment when he comes in. He will come in here, and when he does, he gets his 11 minutes of repairs done. So we will fast forward in the replay. And now we watch maybe one of the classless things I have ever seen in the 8 years I've been operating the championship online racing teams and the 15 years I have been sim racing.
I would like to preface something before we watch it. He had 11 minutes to repair his damage. And look at that replay.
Yeah.
And to make his decision on what he wanted to do. He had 11 minutes, and this is what he decided to come out and do.
Yep. So, by the way, there's no mercy on this one, folks, because quite frankly, he treated everybody with a lack of respect. So, turnabout's fair play. So what happens here is Charlie comes out underpowered, and it became abundantly clear he was waiting on somebody. And that somebody was the number 18. Charlie is well up on the racetrack. He's right here. And you're going to notice here, he immediately cuts in front and hampers the positioning for Ty Smith. He's going to lose a spot to the 99 here. There's going to be other trucks down through the front stretch, and he's going to throw another block. Now, when you are a lap truck, what is the thing that you want to do?
Just get out of the way of the leader. Not even the leaders. If there's a truck that's a lap ahead of you, you just need to get out of the way. At this point, he's multiple laps ahead of him, so he just needs to stay away from anybody all these trucks he's racing around. He needs to get out of the way.
Yep. He is on lap 25. Leaders are on lap 40. He's 15 laps down. We talked about this during the Iowa Twitch Teach. It is, if the names are in red, get out of the way. If the names are in blue, they should get out of the way to you.
Honestly, though, I don't think this is a problem.
I don't think this was ever going to happen either.
Yeah.
So
I don't think this is a problem of, he
knew what he was doing.
Yeah, this was planned.
This was planned. So let's roll the clip, and you'll see here another block. There goes Mason Dunn by him. By the way, good run from Mason Dunn last night.
Mason Dunn did a great job
Monday night. Real quick, as we give a shout out before we
Drew Glover.
Yeah, Drew Glover got the win. Arrow's first win. Nice shout out to those two before we talk a lot of crap here. And there goes Joe Dorsey, another block here. And note the speed here, 146 compared to a 168 at this point in the straightaway. There's some deliberate here. So Dorsey...
And honestly, at this point, he's done enough damage.
Yes.
And, I'm sure at this point, Ty would go, I get your point, man. Come on. Give me a break here. You've made me lose 5 spots.
Yep.
And I don't know.
Now, the reason why we switched over to my truck is because I want to show you guys something. This is where I don't get to be just a regular driver. This is where I have to be a referee. And there's a very distinct difference. I noticed this situation with the 18 and the 46. And, of course, Ty also mentioned it, too, just about at this point where he said, are you guys seeing this? So, at this point, I'm coming off the corner, and I'm noticing right away there's some shenanigans going on, and watch it. I actually get out of the throttle because I know something's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I do this is because I know if he has the vision of my truck here, he's normally when people see this, and I don't want to sound like, kind of like an egomaniac, but typically when you see the head administrator's truck directly behind you, you don't do anything.
Right.
Don't do it.
I know when I race around Dave on the track, that is when I'm at the tip top of I'm trying to make no mistakes.
And typically I'm pretty okay. I'm generally fairly respectful. I mean, I've run into some people sometimes during this season of CDRA and in court, and that's fine. We're racing. That's okay. Mm-hmm. That's fine. We are racing.
There's a difference between a racing incident and what this is.
This is not a racing incident. So at this point, I have slowed up. I have sacrificed these spots because I know that I need to watch this. Typically, when this occurs, typically, this driver out in front will realize, oh crap, the 5.0's here. Not trying to make the joke because I drive the 5.0, but the referee's here. Here's the problem. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. He doesn't let it go. And at this point, really...
Throws another block.
Another block. And at this point, Ty has a shot. to get out of here. But the problem, he's been so hampered by the speed of the 46 slowing him down, he's kind of screwed.
And also, he sees you coming, so he can't.
Yeah.
It's not like he can go all the way to the bottom. He's gonna get turned by you, so he's kind of stuck up there.
However,
while the 46 is playing some nonsense.
However, I did make it fairly known that I told Ty, I'm like, yeah, I understand what you're seeing here. That, like, I'm not gonna do anything. In fact, I'm kind of on your side here because I know some crap's about to go down. So I'm way out of it. He's way out of it. And then this. Right here.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it impacted my race. But when this happens, I want to tell you something. I am cool if you want to talk crap about somebody. I'm going to give you my general rule of thumb. I allow 3 barbs. You guys want to talk it out, you get 3 sentences to one another, and then I tell you, cut it out, take it to DMs, talk about it after the race. 2, this is a league that you have been racing in, like, as far as, not CDRA, but the championship online racing teams. You've been involved in this league, what, about 6 seasons now?
Yep.
You know how it goes. Typically, you know, we're pretty cutthroat on Wednesdays. This is Mondays. We're a very, kind of a different show. But on Wednesdays, we're fairly cutthroat. So, it happens a lot. 3, I have a long, long leash. But there's one thing that I don't tolerate, is taking somebody out because of something after the fact. And that's what happened here. Right directly in front of me, a hard left turn, not even an attempt, turns him right in front of me, and I get into it. Folks, this is where I tell you that Charlie Brown has been removed from the CDRA Motorsports Drop Super Truck Series and will never be back. We will not tolerate this at all. If you want to do this, find another league. We're not going to do this here in court or in CDRA.
I hope any other league would never tolerate this either.
No.
I don't understand why he thought this was okay. I don't understand what his thought process was behind this, but he decided to do what he did, and I can't wrap my head around it. It was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Well, it's not so much stupid as it's just immature, and I find that quite insulting that someone of his age and his stature is doing things like this over a sim race. It's quite inexplicable. I said a few days ago that the only thing it reminded me of was an incident that we had in the Court National Cup Series about 5 years ago, where a driver got mad that we issued a black flag at Daytona, and he decided to brake check the entire bottom lane at Daytona under green in the middle of the pack because he got a black flag for passing under the yellow line. Yeah. This is a very, very close number 2. The lack of respect shown is not going to be tolerated. You can't do this. I know it's his first offense, but when you do something like this and then you brag about it on Twitter, no. We're not about that here in the Championship Developmental Racing Association. So, unfortunately...
That's one of the worst things about it, too, is that he seemed to be happy with what he did.
No, he was bragging about it, quite frankly. Yeah. And I know that there were a lot of people that went after him on Twitter, and I get that. But unfortunately, Charlie, you can't do this. You cannot do this. There are consequences. It's not a privilege, or it's a privilege to race here in CDRA. It's not a right. And that is what happened. So Charlie has been removed from the league tab. His spot has already been taken back because there is actually a demand, a waiting list to get onto the CDRA Motorsports Drop Super Truck Series. So if you pulled this kind of move, there's drivers waiting who would really
you're
like.
Gone, and there's someone already in your spot.
Yeah, there's people that would. There's people that would really, really like to race on Monday nights in this series. So I hate having to talk about this. I really do. I genuinely do. But when it comes to a situation like this, when you do something like this, where it's this friggin' blatant, we're not going to stand for it, especially directly in front of me. That is just a complete lack of respect for your competitors, as a complete
for the league,
for your league, for the administrators, and for the people that come out every week. So, no, we're not about that here in CDRA. So, best of luck wherever you go. It's not going to be any further here. Anyways, let's get back to our regular program. Lap 49. It's a really difficult transition. Really difficult transition. Lap 49 is going to be involving the 81 of Connor Holden in the Longhorn entry. And the... I guess we just missed it. Yeah. This is in between the 81 and the... I believe the 37. All these split-second trucks don't have rear numbers, so it's a little difficult to figure out which one's which. So Connor Holden and the 20 of
that
Peter.
might be the... Is that the 20 or the 74?
No, it's the 20 of Peter Acumano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll roll it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Chiton again.
Yeah, that's my truck.
Again in another incident.
He's had a lot of bad luck this season. I think if we can just get these finishes, I think he can have a good season, but he's just had a lot of bad luck.
Yeah. So take us through this one here, Mitchell.
Can we watch from the onboard of the 20?
Yeah, on board of the 20, absolutely.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and do that. There we go.
Okay, so he's coming down in the corner. He's a little bit lower than the other trucks in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, I think he just started turning late.
Mm-hmm.
And slides up the track, and it looks like he just...
Yeah, starting
to drift up. He's into the 81. He's already... he's turning, but he just entered so shallow and started turning so late that the 81 was just there, and he just got into him.
Yeah, just kind of ended up there. Let's ride along with Connor and see what he says. You know what? This is a real case where that A-post here kind of blinds both guys. So
the A-post in the window now, you can't even see him, really.
Yeah, you can't really see him. So let's roll it forward. Can't see him.
Oh, and Kite says in the chat, Peter was on older tires too.
Oh, okay.
So that, he was struggling.
Yeah,
and he just made a mistake.
Yeah,
he just made a mistake, and it cost 81 and the 30 a good race.
Yeah, the intermediate tire rules were in place, so you had one on the truck and two in the pits. So. Kind of differing tire strategies here, and that's what led to this. So it just looks like, like you said, he drifts up a little bit. Connor maybe comes down a little bit, but he's trying to get the run, and then this happens.
He came down, but I don't think it was
anything malicious.
I think had Peter not made the mistake he made, I think they would have got through that corner just fine. It's just he came down, and Peter made the mistake. It was sliding up, and they just met.
Yeah. So unfortunately, here's the tough break, nowhere to go moment of the week by Chiton Bummersbach. Just nowhere to go.
Absolutely nowhere to go.
Never gonna happen. And actually gets a little bit of error there going.
He tried to slow down and everything. There's just nothing you can do when you got a truck basically sideways in front of you. It blocks everywhere you can go. And
right there. So very tough break for Chiton and Connor. I think Connor still hung in there and actually ended up with a finish there. I think he was still running toward the end. So pretty unfortunate for Chiton because he has not had a good stretch of luck here in CDRA. So hopefully that can change for him. Believe it or not, only one more incident to review here in this one. We will move forward to lap number 71 involving the number 59 of Travis Ellington, who was a front row seat for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he had a action-filled race, it seems.
Yeah, 71, not 59. He drives the 59. That's what I'm seeing here. And there we go.
Involved,
yeah. This was one where he got into it. So we'll fast forward a little bit here. Sorry, folks. And so now we'll see here. We got Travis Ellington. And now this is Steve Boylan. I believe that's the 70. Oh, no, it's the 94 of Ryan Potter. And so the 59 and the 93.
Henderson's behind, too. He's getting a good run.
Yeah, so the 37 is the truck that we're going to want to focus on is Elliot Henderson. He gets the nice run coming off the corner. He's got to run on both these guys. But unfortunately, Boylan's in the way. And that leads to this. And it a pretty good save by Steve Boylan here when we actually roll this forward. But
I think he gets in the wall bit, but I mean, he kept it straight somehow. That's pretty impressive.
Kept it straight, got a top 10 out of it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Travis has no real chance at hanging on to this thing and is going to hook back to the right, and that leads to this.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then just kind of spins around, kind of gets in the wall, and that brings out our final caution of the night.
I think if you go back to that, I think Elliott, he saw the gap there, and he was going to try to take it 3 wide. And I don't think Boylan understood that, and he was going to try to get closer to Travis.
Yeah.
And then by the time that Elliott was there, the hole was gone. But he had so much momentum, he had nowhere to go, really.
Do you think he was trying to split the middle a little bit there?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he was trying to get in between Travis and Boylan, and by the time he actually got there, because he had it run.
Yeah.
By the time he actually got there, Boylan had closed it, and Elliott had just such a super run that it's not like he could just hop out of that. Yeah.
Just a hard hit there. Just unfortunate timing.
Travis is the innocent bystander and all that.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because really, realistically, this whole contact here is exclusively between the 37 and the 93. This 59 car, it's not, or the 59
he's running his line. He's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, he's just kind of, unfortunately, he's going to get right there, body checked by there, checks into the boards here, and then comes back up here.
And he hit the wall on the inside, wrecking. I mean, he's wrecking, and then came back up and got Elliott.
And that's just unfortunate. There's not much that Travis could have done there at that point, because he kind of gets into the wall, and Kentucky's backstretch, it's no Dover, but it does funnel back up a little bit, and especially if you come back up like that, and it's just tough break. One thing I do want to mention though is this move here by the 74 and the 85. Pretty bold to be flying in on the short side of things. They kind of got out of it, so good job on them.
Maybe could have slowed down a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Had a little bit more time to think through, but I mean, they got through, so.
Yeah, so like if you watch here, like at this point, you're seeing trucks down here. Now, granted, the 85 can't see them, but the 74 absolutely can. Eric Keff can absolutely see the incident happening in front of him, but even at this point, I mean, you can see
85 can see the guy wrecking on the bottom too. So,
but they do slow up a little bit, a little late. He does run into him.
And I was about to say that I do think maybe the reason why Eric didn't slow down, that's one of the most important things, like that is not really talked about when you're avoiding the wreck, is looking in your mirror to see if someone's going to run over you from behind.
Yeah.
I think maybe he felt he couldn't slow down because he had the 85 right on him.
Yeah.
And I mean, you saw it. He did slow down, and the 85 ran into him a little bit.
He gets a little shot there, and
Whoa. I mean, you can avoid the wreck all you want. If the guy behind you don't see the wreck and he slams into you, you're in it. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, maybe the 74 could have made it to where the 85 wasn't behind him and then got on the brakes. I don't know.
Heck of an escape, though.
Yeah, they both made it through. So
like an amazing escape.
He thought he was going to go in the middle. He saw the 59 bounce off the wall there, and he went high.
That is taking the short side around. Got to give tip of the cap to Eric Kepf and Curran Beckler there. So good job there, guys. Nice job. A little sketchy, but nice job. So, but yeah, that was the Kentucky race. Really, really good one. When all was said and done. Kentucky kind of gets a bad rep in the Cup cars, but in these trucks, not a bad place to go.
I mean, I was kind of actually surprised. I thought the trucks were kind of probably be worse than the Cup car, but then you saw that there was sort of like multiple grooves in 3 and 4, and even 1 and 2. So I think it was a pretty good race. I mean, I was watching it. I had a good time watching it. So.
Yeah, you were watching because you're down to your last start. You have one start left.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a good last track for me here.
Yeah, we got a lot of good ones coming up here in the next few weeks, and we got a really good one here coming up this upcoming Monday night, and that is going to be the track that I call my home track. I'm very excited. Don't typically get to see this place a lot. You see it a little bit more now because of the fact that, you know, it does host a Gander Outdoors. I mean, whatever it is now, I think it's going to be Camping World again next year. Camping World Truck Series date in the real world. We hope. But this is Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, born in 1961, original home of the Canadian Grand Prix, and our second of 3 road courses on the schedule. Now, Mitchell, you actually don't have a lot of experience here at CTMP.
I've ran it maybe once in an ARCA event, but I don't know it that well. I don't think I made it more than 2 laps in that race, so I really don't know this track that well. So I'll let you tell us how to get around here.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we'll do what we did for the Roval. We'll run it at about half speed, and we'll try and explain everything that we see here. This is about a first gear corner, turn 10, coming off the race, or off of the final corner of the right-hander, and then you come to the line here. Go down this very short start-finish straight. It's actually rare the start-finish straight here, not the longest straightaway on the road course. And then you're going to make this hard dive into turn number 1. You can carry a lot of speed through here, but you got to be really mindful of the exit. You can really get aggressive with that curb too. This is all paved now, but this is not on the sim, so you got to be careful here because these 2 corners here, this turn 1 exit, you really got to be careful because if you get off into the grass here, this is a fairly unforgiving road course because if you get off the grass here, it's going to mess you up for turn 2. And turn 2 is pretty rough because here on iRacing, they have the old version that does not have the paved runoff that it does in real life. They've kind of, for lack of a better term, neutered turn 2 a little bit. A lot of the bites taken out of turn number 2. With the paved runoff, but here it's still got a bite because it's still grass. So coming off of turn number 1 and then going to turn number 2, you really got to be woed up here because if you are not woed up, it's a kind of a blind corner too. You really got to get your angle right and everything. It's a very difficult downhill because if you aren't, you have all this grass waiting here, and if you hit this grass, I'm telling you right now, you're going to the wall. You're going to the tire barrier.
I think that's what got me in the ARCA race we did. I got off of the grass in one of those Porsche Caymans, and I couldn't turn, and I just went straight into that tire wall down there.
Yep,
it's very treacherous.
It is a brutal corner. You cannot, if anything, woe it up more for this place because for this turn 2 complex because turn 2 is a real brutal corner if you get it wrong. So Julian gets in there. This is a lap by Julian Medor, by the way. The director of the V8 TCC, or Drive First Supercars, are back October 15th. If you're interested, signups are on @CourtSupercars on Twitter. It's a Thursday night series, so
that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Twitch Teach might be moving nights, or we might try and jam it before the server. We're going to see. But right now, October 15th at Watkins Glen is the opener. V8 Supercars on Thursday nights. Come on out. It's going to be a blast. So there's the plug. There you go, Julian. Checks in the mail. Now we move forward out of turn number 2. We look at my campsite with Steve McLean right here on the right as we head towards turn number 3. And this is a long sweeping right-hander. So you kind of have, it's almost double apex in a way. You come in here, you hit this spot, you let it drift out a little bit, and then you get back on it here before you head to the Continental Tire Bridge. Drift it out to the left here, and then you're making the run up to maybe the most iconic corner on Mosport or CTMP. It's going to be the Moss hairpin, named after Sterling Moss, the recently departed Formula One champion, Sir Sterling Moss, who asked the designers at Mosport to make this double hairpin, as Julian goes really aggressive on here, a little too aggressive to be honest with you. But this hairpin, you can really drive it in hard into this hairpin because you're actually going uphill at this point. So you can drive it in fairly significantly hard because you can use the gravity of going uphill to this hairpin to slow the truck up. So you come into this corner, you're slowing up. It is a first gear corner, first apex. And at this point, you hit your first apex, you want to hit this rumble strip a little bit, and then you want to attack this apex too. It's two apexes. It's really, as you can see from the track map here, it's two corners. So you really have to be, there are two corners in quick succession. So you get out wide, come back in, hit this corner right, and then you're onto the Mario Andretti straightaway. So this is the Mario Andretti straightaway. There is a little bit of a line on this straightaway, actually, believe it or not. You kind of want to drift it out wide, and then you want to kind of, at this bridge, kind of start drifting it off to the right. Once you're coming down this this Andretti straight, you're going to hit this little apex here, because this is technically a turn, but it's fairly straight, obviously, so you're full throttle through here. And then you're going to hit this little apex here, too, when you get to this Canadian Tire billboard. And then you're going to really start to slow up when you hit these power lines here into this corner, because you actually need a little bit of distance here when you hit these S's here coming back towards the pit straight. A right-hander here, really close to the apron, or not to the apron, but to the curb. Really ride it. And then a quick left really upsets the balance of the truck slightly right here. Your pit road entry is right over here. You want to make sure you hit it. And then this is a first gear corner. You could run it in second gear if you're worried about wheel spin on old tires, but I always find, especially in the stock cars, this is a first gear corner. So rolling it through here, hit this curb, let it bounce a little bit. Julian, the Matador, as always, olays his truck off of turn number 10 and has the start finish line, and then 52 laps at Mosport, and that is how you do a lap there. Let's run it at full speed. So Julian going through this lap, so into the left-hander. You can hear him in second gear here. Here he goes. So it looks like he stays in second at that complex, actually. So up into third gear, lets it drift in here, rides this rumble strip here, comes back out, note the exit, doesn't get too far wide, and then lets off just about at that marking there. Want to aim for those billboards on the wall on the left. Come back out. You see how he doesn't overcommit to that corner, because again, that turn 2 grassy area is a real mother. Right-hander, double apex slightly, let it drift out. Catch it, drift it out here. Run under the bridge. Clips it a little tight. Honestly, this is a little tight. You don't want to be that tight. Come down into the hairpin. Right here, let it drift right here, set it up for the Andretti straightaway. You need a good exit out of that hairpin, because this is a long straightaway and you can really open up an opportunity going into turn 8. So down this straightaway, hardcore down it. Watch for the apron. You see how he stays to the right until he hits that point, comes down to the left, lets off at the power lines. That's a third gear. Kind of rolls it through here. There's second gear, down in here, and then a right here. You don't need to be all sideshow like Julian is here, Mr. Fancy Pants. Heads to the line to finish his lap. So that's Julian Mador's lap here at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Okay, all right, we get it, Julian.
Boy.
We get it. You can run good road course laps. We get it. Okay. We get it. But anyways, that is how you get around Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So really fun racetrack. We'll roll this in the background just as we roll through the rules or whatever. But really fun racetrack. One of my favorites on the service. This is going to be a 51 lap race. It's a 200 kilometer event. It's the same as the NASCAR Pinty Series events here at CTMP. This is our second of 3 road courses. So this is an event where you will have unlimited tires in the truck, but 50% fuel. And our masked friend, the masked man, will be back to throw a caution on this event here on Monday night. And with that news, too, quick reminder, unlimited tires on the truck, but you have a 50% fuel limitation to the truck. So you will have to pit quite a bit, and the random caution is within the first 15 to 35 minutes of the race, not laps, minutes. And we saw Mitchell at the Roval. It seemed to work pretty good with the minutes.
Yeah. It definitely added some flavor to the race, I would say. You know, you got an idea where the caution's coming, but you don't want to base your strategy off that. You don't want to get caught out either. So I like it. I like the random halfway caution. I enjoy it.
And the other thing too is that a lot of these road course events, if you don't have a caution, it can get, for lack of a better term, it can get kind of spread out and get kind of boring. So with this being an oval-based series and stock cars and emulating the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series, you want to have, some action. So the random caution kind of breaks it up, kind of gets it back into somewhat of a similar to the oval events, not quite the same, but it does allow drivers who have a bad first half to have a shot at maybe getting a better finish.
And I mean, this series is basically all about racecraft. And I mean, if you make a mistake right at the beginning and you're all by yourself, I mean, you're learning the track, but you're not really learning how to run around other people on the track. So we get everybody grouped backed up and have some fun.
Yeah, which is what's great about it. So real quick, next week's race at Mosport will be the last one where we use practice servers. We're going to be phasing those out. So this will be the last one with the separate practice 1, practice 2 before the actual race servers. So 7 p.m. we'll start a 90-minute practice. It's going to be set for 2 hours, but it's a 90-minute practice. Run that 90-minute practice through. 8:30 the race server will go up. Qualifying will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the race will start at 9:05. There will be no LCQ for these road course events. Didn't have one on Monday because of the short field. We only had 32. But no LCQ here at Mosport as well before this big road course event up north of the border. And this is the second of 3. We go to Watkins Glen later on, I believe November 2nd. But a really interesting stretch of races coming up here. With CTMP on Monday. Then we have an off week, but then we head to, I believe we head to Talladega next after that.
Yeah.
So some
Talladega and a couple short tracks, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Langley and Nashville.
Yeah, Langley and Nashville, Country Night coming up, and then followed up by Watkins Glen. So really hitting the meat and potatoes part of this schedule. So going to get really, really good here.
I believe we have a good points battle going on right now, too, don't we?
That we do. Yeah, absolutely. The points battle heading into CTMP is looking really good. As it stands right now, Elliot Henderson is on top of the charts with a accumulation of 217 points. Curtis Granger is only 5 back with 212. Davis Warren, unfortunately, that accident for Davis really did hurt him. He did fall a spot to 10 back. Matt Everhart of Jim Beaver Esports has had a great year. I mean, 3 top 5s, but hasn't had that win yet. Top 3 have got to win. He's still waiting on his.
He's one of those guys, though, that when I decide to do Cedar races, he's one of those guys that you got to beat. You got Elliot Henderson, you got Curtis Granger, and Matt Everhart. He's one of those guys that is going to be up front racing you. And yeah, it's actually really tough to beat him. That win's coming. I can feel it.
No win yet, but it's definitely coming. And Mike Oppenheimer in the top 5. He's 24 points back. He's been really good too from the races that we've had so far this season. Running out top 10, Drew Glover, Jeffrey Miller, Ricky Butler with a really, really good showing here in the points. Jeff Gross and Kevin Bingle round out the top 10. So that's pretty much going to do it for us here on CDRA Twitch Teach. Now, we will not be on the air next week. This is a road course event because we can't really, you saw at the Roval, it's really difficult to do one of these for the road courses because we don't have cautions to go off of unless everybody goes, hang on, we got to stop the race. I need to write down on lap 13, I was in an incident with the 75. I need to have this. Please review this. We can't stop the race and do that. So we will not be having a Twitch Teach next week. And then the crappy part is the following week is an off week. So we're going to be off for 2 weeks. CDRA Twitch Teach is not going anywhere. I love doing the show. We're actually going to start hitting a stretch of ovals. So we'll be able to do these week in, week out. It wasn't intended to be every other week when we started the show, but it's just the way that it shook out with the schedule. But we will be back at Talladega, or the week of Talladega, which is the week of the 5th, I believe. This is the week of the 5th. The week of the 19th. So that would be 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So October 23rd will be our next show. And our guest will be the defending back-to-back Court National Cup Series champion, Jordan Erickson. He's back in 3 weeks' time. So we'll be reviewing Talladega, which is going to be
That's going to be a show.
That's going to be a show. That's either going to be a really short show or a really interesting show. So we'll be really looking forward to that one. So, Mitchell, thank you so much for coming out. Greatly appreciate
no problem,
it again. And glad you're having fun kind of breaking all these down.
Hey man, I'm having a great time. I'm glad to help you with these, and I'm glad to see that we got people in the chat hanging out and learning a little bit. That's really what this is all about. So I'm glad I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So glad to see everybody in the chat. We were in the chat. Know that there was one little incident near the end that we weren't quite able to cover. Sorry about that. I closed the replay too early. Sorry, but we will try and do our best next time here on CDRA Twitch Teach. Still messing up the name of the show. So for Mitchell Riggs, I'm David Damboise. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.